Hawaiians had the ability, the ancient Hawaiians had the ability to tap into the bones like that, to the point where a skilled practitioner, a skilled canoe carver or warrior, when they left their physical body, there's still a remnants or a frequency left behind on the bones. And if you know how to tap into the bones, you can gain that knowledge. This is what they did. They were able to do. And so the other thing they were able to do is heal broken bones through tones and chant. And you know, we're talking about within an hour, you're walking out with normal bones. So they really, really knew a lot of things. And I didn't really pay attention to a lot of things that I was listening to, because I wasn't, you know, okay, whatever, you know, bones, you know, I wasn't thinking about it. But now I think, in hindsight, I said, okay, well, I remember some of it, so I'm going to have to go in meditation and then remember more things. And, you know, I'm getting close to the whole thing about hitting broken bones. Getting close. The frontal bone is a good one. This is why I connect with people. This is why we do this. This is why I am bringing this back. Now, when I was growing up, none of the Hawaiians did this. But that was our heritage. The nose, the forehead, like the Maoris do. A lot of Hawaiians today are doing it for different reasons. Many of them with to exchange breath. Well, I personally don't like to have somebody else's halitosis on my breath. And this is no disrespect. However, my intention is what? Why am I doing this? Those of you who have taken classes before, did you ask your teacher why you did it forehead to forehead?
Can you go it's like your real self? Or?
It's, the frontal bone is encoded with information of who you are when you came from source. Not past life. Who, the character of who you are, that unique being of who you are when you came into physical form. When I work with people who are transitioning out of the physical body, I almost always will connect with them forehead to forehead. In fact, Auntie Margaret, before I left her, she was sleeping, and I didn't want to wake her up. But you know, she was already in that state. You know, she was, you know, Alzheimer's state kind of thing, and you know, not recognizing people. So I was curious to know if she was good. So in Auntie Margaret's case, you know, when I, you know, Narita was there, and Yvette was there too, and so I came to visit her, and she was in the bed sleeping, and they told me that she had a hard night last night, and she was up. And she does a lot of singing, but she reverts back a lot to the language, the Hawaiian language. Typically, you see that because that's her first language, Hawaiian. And then, as she got older, she forgot the language, right? But then, in this state of mind, she remembered. And so I sat there for a while with her. When we spoke, you know, she was sleeping, but I was speaking to her. And then, you know, I did some things. To go into detail. But before I left, I touched her on the forehead, because that's how we connect on a soul level. That's how she and I connect on a soul level. And this is how I connect with anyone who's transitioning out. And Keli Itawa, who is going to be speaking at the conference this weekend, Saturday, he asked me to come to the hospital. His ex-wife, his ex-wife's mom was in the hospital, and he contacted me. Could I come up and see what I could do? The story was that they were going to do surgery in the brain. They cut it open, and he immediately closed it up. Nothing to do. And so she was in a coma when I got there. She's been that way for some days. And so when I walk into the hospital, the thing about walking into the hospital is I really got to put my shields up. There's a lot of unwanted energies that I feel all the time. And so when I walk into the room, immediately connect with all the people that's there, and there's 3 women in there. And I want to know who the spokesperson is. So you always go to the leader, right? And so it was happened to be his wife, the ex-wife. So we had a conversation. As we're having this conversation, I'm touching the mother on the bed. Just touching her, different legs, and you know, they're telling me what the issues are. The doctor, you know, she had a tumor or whatever. They couldn't do anything. And as she's talking, her hands like this, and I'm telling her, you know, do you guys have like ukulele or ukulele music like that? And they're like all like like eyes wide open, and he says, you know, why don't you bring that into the circle? She said, really? My mom loves ukulele music. And then I said, you know, another thing too is when you come into this room, you tell your family, leave their junk outside, leave their slippers. I told them, leave their slippers outside. The Hawaiians, they know that, what it means. And leave your junk outside. And as soon as I said that, I glanced over my shoulder. The husband of the lady on the bed was there, and the son, the father and the brothers. And they stayed by the door and come in. So I knew there was this haka, this conflict that was happening. And that's probably why the mom was still hanging on. Now, it is not my place to tell anyone that the soul is transitioning out or not. I will refuse to do that. Even if I know information about it, I'm not going to do that. Because who elected me God for the day? It's not my place to say that. It's the soul's person. If they want to say something, they say something to them. Right? So it's just a private matter. So I told them, either way, whatever the case may be, do this. And then I told them to put salt around her and bring teas to her. And Kaylee knows what I mean when I say that. So Kaylee probably, I assumed that he's going to tell them what to do after I left. And I didn't want to get into too much detail. I just came there to, you know, sort of like the neurologist coming through making house rounds. I don't have time for this, and I got to go, you know. And so I didn't want to engage too much because there was this conflict happening. But I did leave. Before I left with the notion that you come in this place with love. If you cannot, leave. And bring joy, and bring laughter, and bring the ukulele in. And then, so now I wanted to know, okay, that was that, and I came here for that. But I wanted to know, what is my relationship with this kupuna? And she must have been in her 70s, I think. And I wanted to know, is there something between us? Because I've been called to this room for some reason, not to just help somebody else out. And so I touched my forehead for her forehead, and I explained to her, I'm just gonna say goodbye. I forget what I said. And so I touched her like that, and I stayed for a moment, and had this energetic connection. And then when it was over, I stood up, and then just as I did, then the mom have not made a tone in any way in the last 3 days, and she was clearing her throat 3 times. 3 times, she made a sound. She's trying to make a sound. She hears everything. And I knew that. And 3 times, and then there was silence after that. And everybody was like shocked. It was sort of like confirming what I was telling them. Why was the telling you story? Why did I go here for? Oh, the forehead. The forehead. So when I was doing this with this kupuna, in my mind, we were communicating mentally, I guess you can say. I don't know how to explain because I don't see things, I feel things. I don't see color, I feel color. I don't feel negativity, I don't see negativity, I feel, you know, that kind of stuff. And so in my mind, I'm communicating to her saying that if I have harmed you in any way, in any time, because I've never met her this lifetime, if I have harmed you in any way, please accept my forgiveness. I don't know, please forgive me. And if you have harmed me in any way, please accept my forgiveness. I forgive you. Well, you know what I mean? And this is the exchange. And this is what what Mona did in the latter part of life, and this is what I'm doing in this life, and this latter part of my life. I told Renee when I was 60 years old, we had a big birthday party up in Oregon, and a lot of the Mauna Loa guys came down from Portland and different places, a big group. And I told her, you know, the first 60 years of my life has been awesome. The next 60 years, I'm looking forward to it. And this is what my thrust of the next 60 years is to include disconnecting from those souls I have harmed in any way in this lifetime and lifetimes before. And if they have harmed me too, I let that go for it. This is my goal. This is my life commitment. So I'm 63 now, and I'm on this path. And Mona was like that. She would be in Japan. She would be in Europe doing business things and meeting people that she recognized from another lifetime. She had incredible abilities. You know, I was really fortunate to see her in action and her do things that was above and beyond words can describe. She would have gatherings. She would invite me to these gatherings, and you know, it's invitation only in his gatherings. And his gatherings are people from all over the world. And I meet these guys, and these guys have some gifts. This woman, she's a curator for this museum in Hong Kong or something like that. And she's there, and a Chinese woman, and she reached me and said, I heard a lot about you. She wanted to meet me, shake my hands, hug, whatever. And then she said, so I see you're going to be in the Middle East. How wonderful. And I said, no, I have no plans to be. I'm in Honolulu. I have things to do here. 6 months later, I'm in Oman. You know, this is the kind of people that she brings into the circle. And so you see the incredible abilities that we as humans have. And so when you see that, you say, well, I can do it too, right? You have to know that we are infinite and that we have these abilities. Don't shut it down. Invite it. Here's the thing that I think impacts me the most. It should impact others as well. And that is the Hawaiian way, which is really a universal way. But I'm going to speak Hawaiian because I'm in Hawaiian physical form now. So that's my platform. The Hawaiian way is that when you perform in action, you know, I'm talking positive action. When you do things, when you put the, when you, okay, let me see if I can explain this. When you do something about it, of something that you want, when you're taking action of something that you really want to learn or do, you are supported even more. When you ask someone to help you do it, the support is less. This is typical. When you ask for guidance, less guidance comes. When you take the action of doing something to learn how to do that, the support comes. Do you understand what I'm saying? This is the Hawaiian way. The more you ask, the less the less they support you. And I was a guy that's always asking this question, oh my gosh, not again, you know. This is like that, my parents, right? So the less I ask, the more I start investigating on my own, the more they start supporting. All right, so now, this is the Hawaiian way. Now what I'm going to tell you, whether you understand this or not, is this. In your own personal life, what's going on in the world right now, it's really not a good idea, and I'm not going to get into any kind of, I'm not going to go beyond what I'm going to say right now. When you start asking for support, asking for guidance, asking for help, it's not going to happen. If you see that coming, run the other way. If you say, you know, without getting to specific arenas, because I don't want to get into that subject right now, just know this. Take action to create a change in your life. Do something to have that positive change. Do something yourself. Don't ask for that guidance. Let that guidance come after you start taking action. That's all I'm going to say about that. Because what's going to happen now in the next close, I don't know when, but very soon, you're going to see some changes that's going to happen. And when you see the changes, stick with your intuition, but only pay attention to that support that you yourself have taken action to accomplish. Do you understand what I'm saying? So Simon, what's the bottom line? If the shit hits the fan, what are you going to do? Leave the planet or stay on the planet?
Go with my intuition, stay.
Stay on Mother Earth. No matter what happens, stay here. And I'll leave it with that. Just remember this, what I'm just saying. Anything happens, don't leave, stay. I know I'm opening a can of worms, but I don't want to get into this whole subject matter. But I'm leading back to the Hawaiian way and how it relates to what's going to be happening in the next few years, in a few months maybe, I don't know. There's some changes that are coming about, and it's coming. They have already known this, and it's happening. And this is why this subject matter at the Manome conference this weekend is about sustainable community building, because that is the future. Think about it. Sustainable living is the future, is the next cycle of things to come. So your business plan, rethink that. Rethink it. You know, crunch your numbers, do what you need to do. But the intention is what? I love what Robin said, how it goes into the community and giving. Well, they don't know how to do that. Well, okay, exchange, no problem. But she's figuring out a way of how to give it back to the community. And that's awesome. And that's something to to recognize someone and what they're doing. She's taking action to cause a change. That is what's going to, that's what's going to happen now. What she's going to find is that there's going to be huge emphasis to support her to continue in that process. Awareness, the waking up, opportunities, all that will start happening. All right? Enough said about that. We started off with the bones, went on this track, and now let's come back to it.